Hi everyone, meteorologist Chester Lampkin here on this live stream. Thanks for joining us here on WUSA9.com and wherever else we're streaming this, Facebook, YouTube, and the like. We're talking about our severe weather threats for later this afternoon. So here at 8 o'clock, here at the beginning of this live stream, we're starting off with clouds, fog. There's a ton of moisture in the atmosphere. You're going to notice it is very humid as we start our day here in the metro. We're going to tap into that moisture, and as a front crosses through, that's going to help produce these showers and thunderstorms that are expected to move through for later this afternoon through the evening hours. Now, I will say this particular panel makes it look like it's going to storm at every single hour this afternoon. That will not be the case. These storms will be scattered in nature, so some areas will be seeing storms while others will remain dry, and then, it flips. Either way, though, the threat for a storm will be with us all afternoon, all evening, basically. Anytime after 1, 2 o'clock, with the best chances in the metro towards 5, 6 o'clock, and lingering through about 8, 9, 10 o'clock this evening. Before the storms arrive, we are in the 80s. It is warm. It's very humid. We stay humid through the evening. Storms will cool down the temperature somewhat back to the 70s, but overall, a stormy evening coming our way here in the metro. And you can see that moisture this morning in many areas. A lot of us are walking out the door or waking up to areas of fog this morning. Not as much in D.C., though I've noticed some haze and fog near the Potomac, probably some down by the Anacostia as well. But as you go west, where we saw a decent amount of rain, fog has been prevalent through much of the morning hours, early morning hours, I should say, up and down the Shenandoah Valley, out into some of our mountain areas out in West Virginia. And even to places like Leesburg, Frederick, over to Brunswick, and down through Dulles and Sterling this morning, where visibilities have dropped to a mile or less, with some locations seeing visibilities even less than that, like Front Royal, Luray, all reporting very low visibilities. That means some dense fog out there. So if you haven't been out yet this morning, you're about to do that commute to work, give yourself extra space between you and the car in front of you, just because the fog is very prevalent. Let's get to the severe weather threat for this afternoon, this evening. And there it is. Everyone shaded in green. That includes all of Metro Washington. So everybody in Fairfax County, Arlington County, Alexandria, City of Fairfax, and Falls Church. Everybody in Montgomery and Prince George's County, the district, of course, and some of our other surrounding counties, Charles, Prince William, down through the city of Manassas Park, Loudoun County, Frederick County, and up to the Baltimore counties as well. And all the way down to Fredericksburg for you guys watching us south of town and west of town, out to the I-81 corridor. Winchester and Berkeley County, Martinsburg, Hagerstown. Pretty much everyone, Southern Maryland too, Northern Neck, under that severe weather risk. Now, it's not going to be severe weather in every single spot in this green. It's just that we have the ingredients necessary to get damaging winds with some of these thunderstorms that rumble through this afternoon. Now, unfortunately, we're going to have enough spin in the atmosphere that we could get some tornadoes that could come out of some of these thunderstorms. That would be rotating thunderstorms. You get spin in the atmosphere, you can get rotation in storms. You can see it sometimes with the clouds swirling. And some of these storms will spin enough to produce tornadoes, and hail will be a threat as well. Now, it's the marginal risk, so that's the good news. It's the lowest of the 5 risk categories here. You can see on your screen there. So that's the good news. This being the lowest, meaning there will not be a widespread severe weather threat, but everyone will have to watch for it this afternoon and into the early evening hours. I personally think the severe weather threat will go down once we get to about 8, 9 o'clock this evening, but if any storms that flare up this afternoon by 2, 3 o'clock, they could go severe. And the rain amounts. Again, some spots can end up with an inch or more. 2 of our models putting that down for D.C. This is just for D.C., okay? It's a computer estimate, take with a grain of salt, but the range of rain is from 2 inches to the low range of just a 1/100th of an inch, so it's quite the range. For most, it'll end up around 1/4 to 1/2 inch, maybe as much as an inch. Some spots could see 1 to 2 inches of rain, especially if you end up with multiple thunderstorms to rumble through your area. And again, that's something we'll be watching for the afternoon this evening. All the heavy rain, all the severe weather threats will be done by later tonight, so you can rest easy. Certainly, most areas it'll be done by 10, 11 o'clock, but some areas will see some downpour activity through as late as midnight or 1 in the morning. And by tomorrow morning, we're done with the rain. So the rain risk is mainly for this afternoon, this evening. This represents about an 80% chance for rain. 100 would take you to the very top of the chart here. Now the risk goes to pretty low, about 10-15% tomorrow, and then marginal, meaning it's not going to rain for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So it's all this afternoon, this evening, and even this weekend looks dry. You can see that forecast, by the way, on the WUSA9 app, WUSA9.com. Click on the weather there, and we have the latest on the 7-day outlook, and then even have the 10-day temperatures posted on there too. Okay, so let's time it out. I'm going to show you two different models, okay? Excuse me, getting over a cold here. I'm going to show you two different models. This first one, now I don't think is the most accurate, but it gives you a flavor of what to expect with the storms that rumble through this afternoon. And then the next one I think is the one that's more likely to happen. Again, these are models. They're not perfect, just like weather forecasts. You're looking in the future. There are a lot of variables that go into this, okay? But the idea is that we'll be tracking showers and storms by afternoon. This is 2 o'clock here. This particular high-resolution model has a few showers already in the metro, and certainly some showers and storms. It has it east of the Shenandoah. I think it's more likely it's going to flare up in the Shenandoah and then move east, but it has it pretty much east of the Blue Ridge already, getting places like Madison, Virginia, Front Royal, maybe over as far east as Gainesville and Haymarket and Aldie, and down through Purcellville, maybe even to Leesburg here. We'll be watching this entire area for strong, possibly severe storms. There could be a few hefty storms in around Frederick, Thurmont, and Brunswick, I should say, or maybe up towards Hagerstown, Martinsburg as well. We'll keep an eye on it. I don't expect much in the way of severe weather just yet at 1 to 2 o'clock, but there could be 1 or 2 warnings with some of these storms. Wind damage would be the threat at first. Unfortunately, with the heating of the day here and very unstable atmosphere, a lot of moisture, a couple of these storms, again, could start rotating. So if that happens by 3, 4 o'clock, that threat will maybe have been realized at that point. So we'll be keeping an eye on this batch of storms at 3 o'clock. This has it stretching from Howard County all the way down to Fauquier County and even down through Culpeper Orange area as well. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if there were a few more storms west of this, or if this entire line was displaced a little farther to the west. As it moves east, notice the heavy rain threat. Again, severe threat with some of this too. So towards 4 or 5 o'clock, there could be hefty storms right on top of D.C. already, 4 to 5 o'clock. This could impact the evening commute. And you know how it gets when it rains around here. It could impact you if you're riding the bus or the metro. Keep the rain gear nearby. And even some of those later school pickups. Like I know my son doesn't get to the bus stop till after 4 o'clock. So for some, this could be a soggy end to the day, the school day for some of the kiddos, and for after school activities, some of which may be canceled because of the heavy rain and the lightning in the area. This is 4 o'clock. We'll take you to 5 o'clock here. This actually has it get through here pretty quick. Storms have made it and moved through Fredericksburg at this time, Stafford, Quantico, and down through Woodbridge and Nokesville, Manassas, and even to Arlington and Alexandria, into the district, Silver Spring, down through Beltsville, Greenbelt, and up to the Baltimore area as well. But this would, even if this were an hour west or an hour east of here, either way, this is going to impact the evening commute here if this timing is even close to being right. It even has a few storms down through Mechanicsville, Leonardtown, and then it really kind of pops things over to southern Maryland. Heavy rain, possibly some stronger storms at 6 o'clock. Still some lingering showers and storms. Wouldn't be surprised if there was an area of rain stretching through this entire area. Models sometimes will underdo that possibility. It wouldn't be severe, but certainly still raining here 6 to 7 o'clock in our area and down through southern Maryland, the Bay, northern neck. And look how it kind of flares up a few more storms out west. So we may still have to watch you guys for more downpours. Frostburg, Romney, again, Martinsburg, Stevens City, Cross Junction. This is 8 o'clock. It still has more storms west of town, and it quiets things down for D.C. Again, I take that with a grain of salt. Now, this is the other model. Again, not perfect. They're all computer driven. These things are driven by computer, equations that are put into computer form, and then we model the atmosphere based on all these variables. We just chuck them into a huge barrel, and then it spits out its best interpretations based on a set of assumptions we make on the atmosphere, basically. We use physics, and so just know that it's not going to be perfect, but the idea is that it gives you an idea of what to expect, right? So this particular model has us all dry through midday, couple showers. We'll watch for it. This one's been a little bit more accurate. It tends to be the more accurate model. And it has showers already getting out towards Petersburg, Romney, maybe Cumberland, and Frostburg. And then that's when the storms really start to flare up. Excuse me, 2, 3 o'clock. Look at Winchester Cross Junction, maybe Martinsburg, Inwood, Hagerstown, 2 o'clock. 3 o'clock, look at that. If you see storms like this, the model's trying to do it. If you see storms like this kind of bowing, these bowing segments, those tend to be the severe ones with the damaging winds. This could be a widespread damaging wind situation if we see the radar looking like this. But look at that. It brings big storms through Berryville, Harpers Ferry, over to Leesburg and Purcellville by 3 o'clock. So it's something we need to watch with great care. Some of these storms may be getting in towards Frederick. I wouldn't be surprised if they were filtering farther south. You see how it has it out over Woodstock and, again, down through Newmarket. This could be a little farther east, too. Front Royal will be watching you guys. Anywhere west on Virginia Route 7, 66, US 50, we'll be watching you guys with great care by 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. And then here's 4 o'clock. It has some big storms again near Leesburg, Frederick, and maybe even upper Montgomery County. Wouldn't be surprised if a few were out towards upper Fauquier County, 5, 6 o'clock. All right, there are the big storms getting into the metro here. It's also flaring up more south and west of town, but we'll be watching this with great care. Montgomery, Loudoun County, Frederick County through the 5 o'clock hour, maybe even as far east as the Beltway. 6 o'clock, it has it just getting into D.C., getting into Laurel and other parts of Prince George's County, and a few even getting into Fairfax County. We will watch Tysons, Great Falls area, Potomac, south towards Herndon, and perhaps even Haymarket, Gainesville area. Again, this could impact that evening commute. Still some storms up and down the I-81 corridor and for our areas west. 7 o'clock, storms right on top of D.C., right on top of Capitol Heights, right on top of New Carrollton, Largo, Fort Washington, right on top of Alexandria and down through the Hybla Valley and farther south towards Springfield, Franconia area, Kingstown, and then down here into Prince William County, some storms, and even into Fauquier County. So watch you guys, Manassas, maybe Dale City, and over to Triangle. 8 o'clock, look at these big time, heavy rainmakers, possibly severe storms still at 8 o'clock. It has more west of town, so again, you know, it's trying to break it up into 2 segments. The other model you saw didn't do that, so the idea is that it could be either of these or a hybrid of those two. Really something that we'll be watching with great care through 9 o'clock this evening. Yet another round of strong, severe thunderstorms. Now, I think at this point we'll start to transition to more of just a heavy rain event, but it's still going to be loud. It's going to be thundery. And I do think the storms will last through 8, 9 o'clock in the metro and over to the eastern shore. I think by this time, things will be quieting down out west. Can't rule out some isolated showers of storms still to Winchester and Hagerstown, but by 8, 9 o'clock, I think a lot of it will be done. This is 10:30 in the evening. Still some downpours in the metro, but the severe weather threat is starting to wane. The heavy rain threat will also fall apart by midnight tonight. So to recap, we expect strong, possibly severe thunderstorms this afternoon and this evening. For the metro, the primary time will probably be around 4 or 5 o'clock, maybe as late as 6, through 9 to 10 o'clock. And during this time, downpours, thunder is always dangerous. You want to take all those outdoor activities indoors at this time. And of course, if we do have severe weather, we'll have alerts going out. We'll be on TV. If there's a tornado warning, we break into coverage. That is our rule. That is what we do here at WUSA 9. We are covering the storms for you guys again. So watch carefully. Good idea to charge the phone. Know your severe weather plan just in case. If you know someone who lives in a mobile home, those tend to not be anchored down sturdy enough. You got to make sure they know their severe weather plan. That means getting out of that mobile home during a tornado warning. You don't want to be in there. Know your safe space. If you live in an apartment complex, a condo, a larger building, you got to get to the most interior room of your building as you can and to the lowest floor that you can possibly get to. If you can't get to a lower floor, you know, don't take the elevator in a tornado warning. Get to the stairwell. If you can't get to the stairwell, at least get away from the windows. You want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And again, we're dry for the morning. We're dry through midday. And then anytime after 2, 3 o'clock, we'll be tracking and timing out these storms. And then again, through that evening commute and through the dinner hours is when I think we'll see the strongest thunderstorm activity, the heaviest rain Charge the phone ahead of time. Know your severe weather plan. Download our WUSA 9 app if you don't already have it. Good to have it. Storms will linger through the late evening hours, and then they'll ease away to just showers. I think by 9, 10 o'clock, most, if not all, the severe weather will be done, but there could be an isolated flood threat through as late as midnight tonight. And then tomorrow we'll wake up to a beautiful day with sunshine returning for sure by late morning tomorrow or tomorrow afternoon. All right, so Caitlin is in later tonight. Topper is in later tonight. Michaela will be tracking the storms as well. We're all going to be here. Get the latest on the WUSA 9 app. For now, I'm meteorologist Chester Lampkin. I'm going to wrap it up from here. Stay safe here on this Weather Watch Alert Monday.